Welcome back, everyone. We're here with a brand new week of the Cabral concept. We always start with our motivation and mindset Monday. What better place to start than with a success mindset to begin each week? And that is why every single Monday, I try to debut a brand new success mindset podcast. Hopefully, you've been enjoying the category itself, but today is a really important topic. This is one that almost no one talks about, but I truly believe that when you begin to master this concept, you will ultimately be far happier in life and probably far more successful because you start to become okay with being misunderstood. So I'm going to share with you exactly what that means, but we really need to take it from the beginning because you have to understand how we are indoctrinated into life. When you are a child growing up, whose approval do you typically seek? You seek whoever the caretaker is of you. So it could be a parent, it could be a grandparent, it could be whoever the person is that is literally responsible for your life. Because when you are a small child, you can't feed yourself, you can't do any of the things that you need necessarily to survive. So you are, whether you know it or not, subconsciously, you are appeasing, you're looking up to whoever the provider is for you. Then we start to move into school, younger children. We're trying to then appease our teachers. We become a little older as teenagers. Then what are we doing? Well, we're looking towards our peers for approval. So we do things whether we know it or not in order to fit in, because we always, as humans, want to feel that we fit into some type of tribe, some type of community, so that we're all not alone. Why would we want to do that? Well, if we think about it from what's called a limbic brain perspective, the survival part of our brain, being a part of a community or tribe would literally allow us to survive much harsher lifestyles 100 years ago, but many hundreds to thousands of years ago. So really important. And then it doesn't stop there. Now we're moving into later in high school and college. And after that, we're looking for what? Well, we're looking for the approval, or we're looking to find that significant other. And it's a way that also enables us to feel like we're moving up that Maslow's hierarchy of needs. If you've never heard about that before, I'm going to link that up in today's podcast. So if you go to stephencabral.com/2327, I would love you to check out that show next, because if you don't understand the principles, the psychological principles behind how we move through life and how we ultimately attain like true, whether you want to call it enlightenment or spirituality or happiness, it's at the top, and you have to move through the levels first. Now, you can move through them as quickly as you want or as slowly as you want, and not everybody, of course, makes it to the top. So if you know the game, though, then it's obviously much easier to win. So I want to share that with you. And then what happens when we find necessarily our significant other, or maybe we don't, but we're also typically then in some type of workplace, work environment, and what are we doing? Well, we're oftentimes seeking the approval of our director, manager, vice president, like whatever it might be, right? You're looking for the approval of your coworkers and those maybe in that business hierarchy that are ultimately responsible for you keeping your job or being promoted or whatever it might be. So these are just some examples. It goes on and on in life. But what I'd like to share with you is this, that all along this way, we start to lose who we are, who we were, as we begin to meld into all of these different cultures of society and all these different relationships that we have. Now, I would like to say this. You don't necessarily ever lose it. It just starts to get buried deeper inside of you. So what do I mean by lose that or getting buried deeper inside of you? It's the fact that when you're younger, you know who you are. You really do. You're not always taught self-awareness. Again, like during my generation, we weren't necessarily, I don't think, none of my friends were at least, taught to be self-aware, to really be aware of your feelings, your beliefs, your uniqueness. We were always told to just conform. I mean, that's really, ultimately, if you look at all the different organizations of society, you need to conform. And you conform, why? Well, simply to be a part of that tribe, that group. And that's the safety of being a part of a group. And that is why most people do conform. I just believe, though, that ultimately most people aren't happy with conforming. They lose a part of themselves and they know it. And so they carry that around with this, maybe not even small, but this part of them that knows that ultimately they are never going to become who they wanted to be. who they were destined to be, and honestly, to be able to represent and express their uniqueness. And I'm sure you have some of that in you. And if you take a little bit of time to think about what truly makes you happy, what would truly make you happy? Not a house, not a car, none of those things. Like, what would truly make you happy in life? And it takes some time. It takes some journaling. You don't answer it in 10 minutes. But if you start to ask yourself that question, especially before bed and upon waking, when that mind is moving in and out of that theta-based state, it allows at least you to impress it upon your subconscious mind, and then your subconscious mind can begin to do the work, and it will share with you throughout the day, and it might come in just little flashes. So it's important to write those things down. What was it that you wanted to be and do and have when you were a child? Now, it doesn't mean that you need to have those things as a child. You know, my youngest daughter, she wants to have a unicorn, right? Like, so what I'm saying is there are other things that she knows that she likes, though. She is someone that loves animals, that she loves to care for other people. And in that different regard, it's always about caring for, taking care of. And so what happens then as she moves through life, if she chooses a career based on the service of people or animals or whatever it might be, that may be a perfect fit for her. That might be in alignment with kind of who she is and her uniqueness about her, whereas someone else may love to be more into the arts or dancing or singing or whatever it might be. And I'm not saying that you need to go out and take that job in that specific thing. I get that. I totally understand that. But you need to be able to express that side of you for you to ultimately be fulfilled. And that could be, again, check out my show on the missing 6 hours per day and throwing away your to-do list and doing this instead. We'll try to link those up today at stephencabral.com/2327. And they're all on the Motivation and Mindset Mondays. They're not just about motivation. I always give you actionable based steps because for me, I've read hundreds, if not over 1,000, let's put it this way, hundreds and hundreds of self-improvement and self-development based books since my early 20s. And I did that to just try to find answers for myself. And while some were very inspiring and motivating, and I think that you need those, there's no doubt about it, because you begin to impress upon yourself the possibility of you changing your life. Ultimately, at the end of the day, people need actionable items they can get started on. So once you believe enough or suspend disbelief in order to be able to get started, you need action tips. And that's what I try to provide on these podcasts. So it's not all doom and gloom. It's just moving towards a better life. And we do that over time. So what I want to share with you is this. Nothing's going to happen overnight. That's the good thing, because you don't want to add more stress to your life. What you want to do is make small but significant changes. So significant means like it actually matters, that it's going to move you towards your goal, that you're not being busy just for the sake of being busy, moving you towards a career, a hobby, a lifestyle, a family, whatever it is that you're looking for. Like that's the important thing. It's never for me to tell you what you're looking for. I get questions all the time. Should I be doing this? Should I be doing that? I can't answer that question for you, nor would I ever push you in one direction. My job on these Mindset Mondays is to open up your mind to all possibilities. And that's something, again, we lost that as a child. I believe that from an early age, we believed that all things were possible. And then just over time, we kind of just got, beaten down to the point that we just, again, well, maybe it's possible, maybe not. It's going to take too much work. It's going to take too much time, too much money, too much, all of those different things. And we have to just simply say, well, is that true? Right? And maybe it's not. Just suspend disbelief for a moment. But I will tell you the next step is this, is that once you begin to understand that you will be most happy when you're simply moving towards a worthwhile goal, like that in and of itself is amazing. But also the bigger part is this. I can't have you, and I don't want you looking back at the end of your life with regrets. I mean, that's one of my biggest things, is that I just want to live a life of no regrets. And so when I look back and I'm like, oh, I wish I did this, I wish I did that. But I can say to myself, every single day, I was working towards something and I was doing my very best. And if you can do that, there's satisfaction in that. And if you didn't necessarily get this, that, or the other thing, you can try to teach that then to your kids or to other people. And that in itself, I believe, is worthwhile. So again, it's always moving. It's always moving towards a worthwhile goal. And I will let you know that those goals will change. Why? Because you'll change. Not in a bad way, but you'll actually become more enlightened. And I don't even love that word, but I think the better word is you'll become more self-aware. You'll understand more about you, and you'll understand like, okay, I've achieved that. And you know what? It wasn't what I thought it would be. And that's not a bad thing. It actually begins to allow you to look at you at a deeper level, like what really matters in life. When you start to accomplish some of these bigger things, you're like, oh, yeah, I see what you're saying. Like I needed to accomplish that just for the sake of knowing that that is not the end all be all. Great. Now I can move on to this. And there's this last part though, and that's what this show is all about. But again, I had to set this up. You have to understand is that very few people take this up, meaning like 1%, right? So, I mean, really 1%. It's certainly not more than that, 1 out of 100 people. And this is not to denigrate or be condescending to anyone else, because everyone has their own path in life. And I don't know it's always possible to figure out why some people have the calling and some people don't. But if you're listening to this show, for sure, I mean, it's my belief that you want to improve your life just like I want to improve mine, right? Whatever level you get to, there's another level. That's what I've learned. Now, you don't have to go for that next level. You can decide at some time, you're like, hey, I'm good. Like, this is it. I've achieved what I've wanted to. I'm happy. I want to simply be. I want to now enjoy this life. It's my opinion that that probably won't take place. There'll be other worthwhile goals that you will go for. And hopefully, and it's my belief that much of that will then be in service of others. Because once you achieve what you want, you can't help but then want to share that with others. My belief, it's a lot of what we share inside of the IHP community. And I think you'll find the same, but that's okay. I want you to get there, right? I want you to get to that spot. So at some point, though, you're going to take up a worthwhile cause. You're going to move towards your dreams. You're going to move towards what you believe will lead to a fulfilling life and a life of no regrets. And you're going to take small steps, not overwhelming ones, but small steps to work there. But as you begin to share this, or other people begin to see it, whether it's your partner, your parents, your family, your coworkers, friends, your community, whoever it might be, they may begin to start to say things to you such as, why are you doing that? Why are you taking time away from your family, your kids, your work, your whatever it might be? And for you, it might only be a half hour a day. It might only be an hour a day. It might be 2 hours on the weekend. But there will always be those people that have something to say. They are the naysayers. But it's not because they mean you harm. They are actually doing what? They're looking out for you. They actually believe, in a strange kind of way, that if you move further away from your tribe, your community of people that all act the same way, you are going to be less safe. Believe it or not, that is oftentimes the case. I know it's happened with many parents sharing that with their children, like, oh no, go to school, go to college, do this, do that, take the safe path, get a good job, you can make this much money, you'll be able to take care of your family, buy that home, like all of those different things. And there's nothing wrong with that. What is that doing? Well, that's your parents, that's other people in society trying to help you what? Survive. To try to stay in a safe spot. So I get it and I totally understand. But maybe that's not for you. Maybe you want something more. And it doesn't mean better. It just means it's what you want. It's self-actualization of the human. So many great philosophers and teachers that I've studied over the time use that word self-actualization. I'll be doing another podcast on this in a couple weeks now, rediscovering you, because it's such an important topic. And again, I've learned from some of the best. Earl Nightingale, I mean, he wasn't alive when I was studying, but I got to listen to some of his audio. I got to read all of his books. Jim Rohn, of course. I mean, so many great people, so many great teachers. But what we need to do is have you start to understand that those people are going to be out there. Basically, two causes. One, they want to keep you safe. I just explained that. But the second is that this is the crabs in the bucket technique and theory. And I'll also share that podcast today at stephencabral.com/2327. And that's because I want you to make sure that you begin to up-level your education, your knowledge, that there's just not one 20-minute podcast for you to listen to and then you're good to go. It's daily daily knowledge that you are infusing into your brain, which is telling you it is possible. Just like it was possible for me, it's possible for you. I mean, it really is. And there's other levels, of course, above anything that I've achieved. I haven't necessarily achieved whatever that pinnacle is, but the truth is it's for me to decide what that pinnacle is. It's for nobody else. I no longer compare myself to anyone else. I certainly did when I was in my 20s, but I've realized and learned like other people's path is not my path. I have to live my own truth. And so it is very helpful though, as the crabs in the bucket, and that's the other theory. So basically it's saying that as you start to move up, move to a different level, there'll be those people that try to pull you back down. And the reason they do that, whether it's the, haters online or what, you're posting a post, whatever it is, you have to understand that's just going to come. It's just going to come. It's a small percentage, but it's going to come. And you have to be okay with that. And the reason is that those people, you're basically holding up a mirror to them. Those people who act like that, inside of them, they want what you're doing, but they don't have the confidence, the commitment, or whatever it is to take that next step. And you're showing them a version of them that they want that they're not willing to go after. But the truth is this, those people, even those people may be inspired by your actions. And I'll tell you this, and I found this in my own life, I just continued to move forward. And it wasn't easy because in the beginning, because I have that Pitta-based mentality, that fire inside of me, right? I'm a Pitta mindset. I'm a Aries birth sign. I'm oldest born in my family. So like everything is okay. Like, yeah, you want to have an argument? Let's argue, right? And now I'm the furthest thing, really from that because I can feel it. Like it's there. That's a part of who I am. But I'm saying like, I get it. I understand. And I'm good because I know who I am. I know what I'm looking for. And I also know why those people are also saying that. So you'll get there over time as well. I've no doubt about it. We'll do follow-up shows on that. But you just have to understand is that people are not going to understand even where you're coming from because it takes just a unique person to even begin to become more self-aware, to first even ask themselves, what is it that I want out of life? What do I want to be? What do I want to do? Right? Like, what did I want as a child? To do this work is just so unique and people are just not going to get it. And that's okay. It really is. But here's the thing. You can find online groups. You can find other people in the world. We have this whole beautiful thing called the internet, right? Even places like cabralsupportgroup.com that you'll be able to share your dreams and your hopes. And other people are going to be able to chime in and be like, that's amazing. This is what I'm looking for. And maybe here's a tip for you as well. And we share books and we share all these different types of things, all free, right? Because we're trying to support each other. But at the end of the day, it's your path. And it's not that you walk it alone, but it is for you to walk, meaning like you can carve out any road that you want in life. And it is all based on who you are as an individual. And over time, the goal is not to push people away. So that's why, yeah, you may be misunderstood, but you're not pushing people away. What you're trying to do is shine by example. So as you're moving down your own path and you're enjoying yourself because it's a growth-based process, it's not always easy, that's for sure. It's a challenge. That's another reason why people don't take it up. It's a challenge. But you know what? It leads to a worthwhile life. Because a life without any challenges as you move to a worthwhile goal, not challenges as just challenges for the sake of challenges in life, right? But it's challenges moving to a worthwhile goal because you overcome those. And as you overcome them, you need to develop into a new person. The only way you overcome a lot of these big challenges is you gain more knowledge. You ask for help. You get a mentor. You begin to read more and expand your mind. As you do that, you grow as an individual. As you grow in it as an individual, you see the world for what it is. It's a beautiful place. Some people are over here. Some people are there. No one's in a better place than others. However, what really matters at the end of the day is how are you able to improve your life? So as you improve your life, I truly believe you can lift others up and improve their lives as well. I'm a big believer in that it is difficult to pour from an empty cup. So I always go back to this quote, and if you haven't heard it before, please allow me to be the first one to share it with you. It's by Jim Rohn. So this is it. Everybody's always looking to take care of others and doing all these different things, which is great, but nobody knows us like we know us, right? I mean, that's the bottom line. So Jim Rohn said this: I'll take care of me for you if you'll take care of you for me. And that is ultimately what I want to try to teach people. Nobody can help you like you can help you. It's okay to ask for help along the way, and you should. No doubt about it. But at the end of the day, this is your life to live. It's your life to continue to explore. And it's your life to honestly reach your fullest potential. Hopefully this was helpful today. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for tuning into the show. Please do let me know if you have any questions, any ideas for future shows. I'd love to be able to record those for you. Take care. Have an amazing week.